The premise of an espresso machine is good coffee, fast, but with the sheer number of different machines out there, how can you choose the one that's right for you? And when the user manual warns you your machine might not work right out of the box, is that a huge red flag? I'll be doing a hands-on review in my home of this Nespresso Vertuo machine, and it's the first and longest selling of the Vertuo options. I'll show you what you're getting, what kind of drinks it can make, how it works, and what makes it different from other Vertuo machines like Vertuo Next or Vertuo Plus. I'll tally up the pros and the cons and let you know if I think I can recommend this coffee pod machine for you. Let's do a quick recap here of what makes a Vertuo machine special. Vertuo machines are a bit more complex, so they tend to be a bit bigger in order to accommodate several different and larger cup sizes from espresso to full mug. They use Vertuo's centrifusion technology, which works by spinning the coffee pod really fast, creating centrifugal force while injecting hot water into the pod. A barcode on the rim gets scanned and lets the machine know how much water to use. This machine, just called Vertuo, is the original model released about 3 years before the Vertuo Plus. The fact Nespresso and its manufacturers continue to sell Vertuo nearly a decade later might say a lot about its place in the coffee world. Vertuo is what I'd call more of a manual operation machine. While the look of the top portion here may be different depending on the style or finish you order, and my review model has a pretty chrome dome on top, this Vertuo machine needs you to lock and unlock it yourself, and the lever, while it's large, can be a bit awkward to grip correctly depending on where you place the machine. A single button on top initializes the coffee, and there's an adjustable cup riser. The waste container on the right-hand side can hold up to about 12 to 18 capsules depending on their size. The water tank is on the left and holds just over a liter. Before you make your first coffee, you do have some homework to do. You need to prime the machine by running water through it. Now, while this sounds like it should be easy, there is a specific process you need to follow, and it's apparently common enough that the machine won't initialize that Nespresso has laid out exactly what to do about it in the manual. The first Vertuo machine I bought was one of those defective models. I spent 30 minutes trying to get it to pump water to no avail. I contacted Nespresso customer service as the manual recommends and did get great help, but after nearly an hour of trial and error, I was told the machine was just defective and to return it where I got it from. Fortunately, my replacement worked and I had it primed in about 5 minutes this time and ready to make that first coffee. Using this machine is really simple. Just fill the water tank, choose your pod, and get a cup to match. There is the adjustable cup rack, which just slips into place under the spout. Twist the lock to open the lid and place the pod into the holder round side down. Push the lid back down and lock it into place. When you're ready, press the single button on top. You'll hear the machine start to spin up, and within about 15 seconds, you should start to see coffee flowing. Depending on the size of your drink, it should brew up in about anywhere from 40 seconds to a minute and a half. I really like the design of this machine since it uses a concave recess to allow you to get the cup in close to the spout to prevent splashing. This is different from the Vertuo Plus, which bows out in front. A removable drip tray sits underneath. When you unlock and lift the lid to brew your next coffee, the pod is automatically ejected into the discard bin. The original Vertuo here can make 5 different cup sizes of drink, from tiny ristrettos and the usual espresso and double espresso, as well as 5-ounce Grand Luongo and 8-ounce long coffees. Of course, the best brew is totally subjective, and Vertuo does offer you a way to tweak the coffee sizes to your liking. Just hold the top button when the machine's ready to brew and let go as soon as you want the machine to stop for a custom size. Nespresso Vertuo will then save that specific setting for that pod size until you return the machine to its factory settings. If your local recycling program doesn't accept coffee pods because they're too small, Nespresso will give you a return recycling bag for free so you can collect your used pods and send them back. So what's the coffee like? When it comes to the espresso, I found it really delicious. The coffee to me is high quality, the drink is silky and never bitter, and it's smooth with a beautiful crema on top. The shots brew up fast and they seem to be at just the right temperature. Conversely, I found the bigger coffee pods were not as much to my taste. I found them kind of dull and a bit watery tasting, but with that said, I like big, bold, punch you in the mouth kind of coffee first thing in the morning, so lighter coffees and gentler roasts are generally not for me. The price of these Vertuo pods does vary a little more than the original, which is maybe not surprising since you might be getting different sizes of drinks from them. For the most part, you can expect to pay about 80 cents to $1.20 for espressos and up to about $1.50 for bigger coffees. And you could say that's reasonable considering what some coffee shops charge for large or fancy coffees. Overall, I'd say this machine does what it promises, and many years on the market prove it is a crowd favorite. Even so, there's a couple things I don't love about this version. Let's go over the pros and the cons. On the pro side, Vertuo gives you more options for different sizes of espresso and different types and sizes of coffee depending on which pod you order. That alone makes it a major upgrade from Nespresso Original. The large water tank is a good size if you stick to espressos, but it feels kind of small if you like a coffee or two each day, yet the big pod discard bin means you shouldn't have to fuss with emptying as often. I found the espresso from this machine to be really delicious and very high quality. I appreciate the fact the cup riser is adjustable to accommodate different sizes of cups, which also helps to eliminate splashing. There's also the option to run a manual extraction if you don't like the preset Nespresso sizes. When it comes to the cons, getting a defective machine seems like it might be kind of common, which is a little disconcerting and might make me wary of this machine if I were you. Also, the Vertuo does have a larger and wider footprint than something like a Nespresso Original machine, if that's a concern. I also didn't love the kind of clunky operation of the manual locking mechanism enough that I think I actually prefer the Vertuo Plus over the Vertuo. Now, on its own merits, Nespresso Vertuo here is a capable and versatile coffee pod machine that's going to deliver on what it says, and that is great coffee and espresso fast. But comparing it head to head with other Vertuo machines, I actually think I like the Vertuo Plus better thanks to its narrower footprint, movable water tank, and automatic motorized lid. Nespresso Vertuo here sells for about $2.79 Canadian or $1.99 US, while the Vertuo Plus is about the same price. Still unsure which Nespresso machine is best for you? You'll want to check out my other Nespresso coffee machine reviews right now.